for watching Why America. Today we're on location at a new interviewee's home, and I'm very excited to be here. Today I'm here with Stan Inzer, dear friend and mentor of mine. Stan.
Rob.
Stan is a 73-year-old Vietnam veteran, combat veteran, who has a story to tell. And today he's going to share it with us here on Why America.
Thank you, Rob. I really appreciate this opportunity to talk to you about Why America. As Rob told you, I'm a combat veteran from Vietnam. I served with the 101st Airborne Division, an elite group of men whose role in combat was search and destroy. We took no prisoners. We came home with a lot of baggage, but we tried to carry on with our life. And I want to back up a bit and tell you a little bit why I was willing to go to Vietnam in the first place. My family came to the United States in the 1700s. They were here in 1776 when our Constitution and our Declaration of Independence was signed. The first Inzer to die in combat perished at Valley Forge, serving under General George Washington.
Wow.
In that winter when they crossed the Potomac. I've done a little bit of family research, and I have found that in Inzer, my ancestors have served in virtually every war this country has had since the Revolutionary War. There were 13 Inzers who served in the Civil War, roughly half on the north and half on the south. Part of my ancestors are from the north and part were from the south. There's history in my family. Our blood has helped make this flag what it is today. My grandfather served as a U.S. cavalryman back in the day of the old Yellow Leg. He fought in Cuba, and he fought during the Moro Rebellion in the Philippines, where he lost an eye. He came home and became a farmer, raised 7 children, 3 boys, 4 girls. The 3 boys served in World War II. The oldest was captured, served it, walked in the Bataan Death March, finished the war out in a Japanese prison camp. The second to the oldest, Uncle Gene, 2 weeks after he got his battlefield commission, was wounded in France, laid on the battlefield for 3 days while the war raged around him. The Germans would push back, the Americans would push back, and it was on the 3rd day that the Americans finally took control of that field and found my uncle laying there wounded, and were able to bring him out and get him to medical care. The war was over for him, but he spent years in rehab. My father served in the United States Navy. He was on 2 separate aircraft carriers that were torpedoed and sunk. And he survived. And he tells the story of hearing the men inside that were trapped, screaming, pounding on the walls, wanting out. But he came home. He became a minister. Did what he had chosen to do from the age of 17 years old, to go preach the Word of God to the people. He raised a family of 5. He taught us about patriotism, the love of this country, the love that we all should have for a land of the free. And we need to remember all these people that have paid so much for the freedoms that we have. Now I hear people say, well, Vietnam wasn't a fight for the freedom. Vietnam really had nothing to do with the United States except to kill our young men. Maybe you need to meet some of these South Vietnamese families. They live here in the States now that had to leave their country because they did not want to live under communism.
Yeah.
We were there fighting for their freedom. Our government let us down and let the South Vietnamese citizens that fought with us down. I wish some of you could hear some of these South Vietnamese soldiers that live here in the States talk about their love for the United States of America and the freedom that they have here. I want to talk about a Sam Lee, a great friend of mine, a mentor of mine. Did 3 imprisonments in the communist camps before he was able to escape with his wife and 3 children. He made it to the States. He became a successful businessman. And today he talks about this freedom that he is so fortunate to have. I fought for these people to find and have freedom. I'm proud to have had that opportunity. I would like people to know that it's not wrong to go help other people to find freedom, to be able to worship as they see fit, to be able to do the work that they love to do, have the businesses that they have, and not be forced by some controlling government. I served a year in Vietnam. This is September 2020. September 29th, 1968 was one of my worst days in Vietnam. We walked into 2 ambushes that day. The first ambush, we had 2 men wounded. The second ambush, we had a young boy that had only been in country for 3 weeks, killed. He laid there screaming for medic, and we were pinned down and could not help him. The last words that I had heard Willie Gaddy proclaim was, "Mama, Mama, I want my mama." I still dream of that day. That is my nightmare. We had 1 more man killed that day by a sniper. Richard Gullickson, a young boy from Hermiston, Oregon. He was the radio transmitter operator, our RTO, for the captain of our company. He was on the radio reporting about our progress as we swept into this enemy base camp. And a sniper shot him and killed him. Men that were just doing their job, just doing what we were trained to do. I remember that saying, "No greater love than a man laying down his life for his brothers." These were the people that I served with. These are the young men that are on that wall in Washington, D.C. These are the people that make me proud to be an American, that gave their all. I was wounded December 19th, 1968. I refused to be medevaced because we were short-handed. We didn't have enough men in our company. And I had the medic patch me up until we could get back to a rear area where I could find a MASH hospital to take the shrapnel out of my body. Because I love my brothers. And I was not going to turn my back on them. My daughter served 22 years in the United States Air Force. She did 2 combat tours in Afghanistan as a medic. She did 2 volunteer trips into South Vietnam on the body recovery teams to try to find the bodies of our missing soldiers. That's why America. That's why I love this country, because there are people that give so much of their life This America has offered freedom to people from all over the world. Every race, every religion. My ancestors came to the United States in the 1700s, fleeing the English regime that was not allowing them their freedom of religion.
People don't realize that. They just don't.
They don't. They don't, Rob. They really don't.
We've had too many generations now of success and moving forward, and we've lost the fight.
People aren't being taught our history. They're not being taught the price that was paid for this country and for the freedoms that we have. All they can do is look at the past and say, woe be unto me, when the past today does not affect them the way it did then. There are so many good things about this country. It's not perfect. But I have had the opportunity to be in different foreign countries. I've worked in the Middle East. I've been to Australia. I've been to parts of Europe. There is no country that has the freedom that the United States of America has. Absolutely none. We can't let this go. We have to fight for this freedom. We have to stand up and say, enough, people. We have the perfect piece of paper, the United States Constitution, that guarantees us our freedoms and our rights. And we have the opportunity to vote for our leaders. And people have become complacent. They don't go to the polls like they used to. I remember after I got old enough to start listening to conversations, my mom and my dad talking politics, talking about who was running for offices, talking about what direction would this country go if this person got into office or if this person got into office. I'm proud to be an American. I'm proud to have served my country. I'm proud that my children have been raised in this country and that they can make the choices that they make. I don't sometimes like the choices they make, but they're free to make those choices. They're free to stand up and say, this is what I believe. I hope people who recognize what we have. This country is so beautiful, so great, so giving, and so loving. Thank you, Rob, for giving me the opportunity to share my story.
And that's why America, my friends. I can't even say anything else. That's why America. We're the foundation of this civilized world. And I truly believe that if the United States of America, the great experiment, fails, then humanity has failed. So we have to win. Thank you.